On the windswept hills of Vintém, overlooking the quiet city of Niterói, Brazil, a mystery unfolded in August 1966 that would echo across decades and continents, puzzling investigators and captivating the imaginations of all who encountered its eerie details. It was a case marked by the unexpected, the surreal, and the inexplicable. Its protagonists, two ordinary men who met an extraordinary end. This is the story of the lead masks case, perhaps the strangest unsolved mystery in Brazilian history. It began on August 20th, 1966, when a young boy flying a kite stumbled upon a curious sight on the slopes of Morro do Vintém. There, lying side by side amidst the tall grass, were the bodies of two men. Their names were Manuel Pereira da Cruz and Miguel José Viana, both electronic technicians from the small town of Campos dos Goitacazes, about 175 miles from where they now rested. The details of their deaths, and the scene in which they were found, would become infamous. The bodies were laid out peacefully, as if asleep, but it was the accessories they wore that seized attention. Both men had homemade lead masks covering their eyes, the kind used to shield against radiation or bright light, crudely fashioned from sheets of lead. Beside them were an empty water bottle, a packet containing 2 towels, and a small notebook. The notebook, with its cryptic instructions, would fuel theories for generations. 1630 be at the agreed place. 1830 ingest capsules, after effect protect metals, wait for mask signal. As the news of the discovery spread, police arrived and quickly realized they were dealing with a perplexing case. There were no signs of violence or trauma on the bodies, no evidence of a struggle, nor any indication of robbery. Both men still wore their watches and carried their wallets, which contained significant sums of money. The only oddity, aside from the masks, was the lack of any apparent cause of death. Investigators painstakingly reconstructed the men's final days. Cruz and Viana had left their hometown on August 17th, telling their families they were going to Sao Paulo to buy materials for their work. Instead, they boarded a bus to Niterói, arriving that same afternoon. They purchased waterproof coats from a local shop, then stopped at a bar to buy a bottle of water, requesting the receipt, which the bartender later found unusual. From there, they made their way to Morro do Vintém. What happened next remains a mystery. The capsules mentioned in their note were never found, nor was any trace of poison or drugs detected in their remains, though the advanced decomposition made toxicology unreliable. The towels, the lead masks, the cryptic instructions, all were left behind as clues, but none yielded a clear answer. To understand the possible motives behind their actions, investigators delved into Cruz and Viana's lives. Both were known as diligent, intelligent men, well regarded in their community. Yet they also had a reputation for being interested in the occult, particularly the practice of scientific spiritualism, a Brazilian movement that blended elements of science, religion, and the paranormal. Friends and family spoke of their involvement in a group that held secretive meetings, seeking contact with spirits and exploring the mysteries of the universe through strange rituals. Some suggested that the men were attempting to contact extraterrestrial beings or to experience an out-of-body journey, perhaps believing that the lead masks would protect them from harmful rays during the process. The idea of spiritual experimentation was not unheard of in Brazil at the time, a nation where diverse beliefs and folklore often mingled. But why these two men on that hill with such peculiar preparations? Had they been following instructions from someone else? Were they victims of a dangerous hoax, or had they simply miscalculated the risks of their own experiment? The phrase ingest capsules in the notebook suggested a deliberate act, a ritual involving some kind of substance. But with no capsules found and no clear evidence of poisoning, the nature of what they consumed, if anything, remains unknown. The mention of mask signal only deepened the enigma. Did they expect to witness a vision, or to be taken somewhere beyond the physical realm? As the investigation stalled, theories multiplied. Some believed the men had been duped by a charismatic leader or con artist who promised them enlightenment or supernatural power in exchange for their compliance. Others speculated about clandestine scientific experiments, perhaps involving radiation or mind-altering drugs. There were even whispers of UFOs and alien contact, fueled by local reports of strange lights in the sky on the night the men disappeared. In the 1960s, Brazil was a hotbed of UFO sightings, and the idea that Cruz and Viana had sought communion with visitors from another world captured the public's imagination. Yet for all the speculation, no concrete answers emerged. The police eventually closed the case, unable to determine the cause of death or the true purpose behind the men's final journey. The lead masks case became legend, inspiring books, documentaries, and countless debates among amateur sleuths and professional criminologists alike. The scene, two men lying side by side, faces obscured by lead masks, surrounded by mundane objects and an air of profound mystery, remained burned into the collective memory. But who were Manuel Pereira de Cruz and Miguel José Viana beyond the sensational headlines? In many ways, they were products of their time and place. The 1960s were a period of rapid technological change and cultural upheaval in Brazil, a nation grappling with modernization and the enduring pull of tradition. The fascination with spiritualism and the supernatural reflected a broader search for meaning in an uncertain world. Cruz and Viana, as technicians, were men of science, accustomed to logic and experimentation. Yet they were also drawn to the possibility that there was more to reality than met the eye. Their quest for answers led them down a path few would dare to follow, a path that ended inexplicably on a lonely hillside. Decades later, the questions remain. Why lead masks? What did they hope to see or to shield themselves from? Who, if anyone, orchestrated their final journey? And what became of the capsules, the key to understanding their fate? Some have tried to recreate the events, donning lead masks and retracing the men's steps. Others have scoured the archives for overlooked clues, revisiting witness statements and police reports. But the truth remains elusive, hidden behind layers of rumor, speculation, and the inexorable passage of time. The lead masks case stands as a reminder of the limits of human understanding. In an age of technological marvels and scientific breakthroughs, there are still mysteries that defy explanation, stories that refuse to yield their secrets. For some, this is a source of frustration, a puzzle that demands a solution. For others, it is an invitation to wonder, a testament to the enduring power of the unknown. Perhaps the most haunting aspect of the case is its ordinariness. Cruz and Viana were not celebrities or criminals, but everyday people pursuing extraordinary experiences. Their story resonates because it taps into a universal curiosity, the desire to know what lies beyond the visible, to push the boundaries of knowledge and belief. In the years since, the hillside where they were found has become a place of pilgrimage for the curious and the contemplative. Visitors leave offerings and tokens, hoping to connect with the mystery or to pay their respects to two men who dared to seek answers and paid the ultimate price. The case has inspired artists and writers who see in it a modern myth, a story of ambition, folly, and the eternal human quest for meaning. It is a tale that raises more questions than it answers, a riddle wrapped in the mundane details of everyday life. And so the legend endures. The lead masks, now faded and corroded by time, remain symbols of the unknown, reminders that even in a world shaped by science and reason, there are still places where mystery reigns. As the sun sets over Morro do Vintém, casting long shadows across the grass, one cannot help but wonder what Cruz and Viana saw in their final moments. Did they glimpse a world beyond our own, or were they victims of a tragic misunderstanding? Did their experiment succeed, or did it end in disappointment and confusion? The answers may never be known. But the story of the lead masks continues to captivate, inviting each new generation to ponder its secrets and to imagine what might lie just beyond the edge of understanding. In the end, perhaps that is the true legacy of the lead masks case, not the tragedy or the unanswered questions, but the enduring sense of wonder it inspires. It is a reminder that, for all our progress, there are still mysteries waiting to be explored, stories waiting to be told. The hills of Niterói hold their secrets close, the grass growing thick over the place where two men laid down to seek the unknown. Their journey, though unfinished, speaks to the restless curiosity that defines us all, the urge to look beyond, to seek, to question. And so, the legend of the lead masks lives on, as strange and compelling as the day it began, a testament to the enduring power of mystery in a world that sometimes seems to have no more room for wonder. As long as there are questions without answers, stories like this will find a place in our hearts and minds, a reminder that the unknown is never far away, and that the search for meaning is a journey without end.